God, we've got to get Jeff R.E. online.
Yeah, we got to get him caught up with everything that's happened in the past 20 years or more, 30 years.
I also kind of just want him to deal with all my emails.
Yeah, that's a good call. I mean, plus, I don't know anything about technical stuff, so it'd be nice to just have Jeffrey do it all for us.
You'd think that two people who built a robot would be able to, figure out how to connect them to the internet, but...
Well, that's true, but, when we were kids, we were powered by imagination. As grown-ups, we're just, we've got no imagination and no technical skills, so what are we going to do?
Indeed. Well, let's give Pond a ring. If anyone can walk us through this whole thing, it's Pond.
Good call. She'll get us squared away.
Let's talk.
Spencer and Zach Explore the Universe is brought to you by Maine Spirits. Learn more about the spirits they import and the drinks you can make with them at mainspirits.com, or follow them on Instagram at main_spirits, or download their app for your smartphone. Also, stay tuned for happy hour at the end of the show. Also brought to you by Bull Moose. Bull Moose has many locations throughout Maine and New Hampshire and are ready to serve you safely at one of their retail locations or online at bullmoose.com. Stay tuned for the Bull Moose Minute at the middle of the show. The show is also brought to you by Sun Tiki Studios, a top-flight rehearsal and performance space in Portland, Maine, now hosting safe distance rehearsals. Learn more at suntikistudios.com or find them on Facebook, which sucks, but Sun Tiki does not suck.
Nice.
Hello?
Hey, Pond!
What's going on?
Well, we were hoping that you could get J2D connected to the internet.
Did you get the interface I sent you?
Yeah, I plugged right into the speak and spell. Works just like you said.
Cool. Now go ahead and plug them into the fax machine.
Done.
Whoa! I can see forever!
All right, that should take a few minutes to upload.
Awesome. Can you hang out while it uploads?
Absolutely, I can.
Awesome. How have you been doing?
I've been doing great. Quarantine has been very interesting for me.
How so?
Well, I'm back at work at Bard now, and some things have shifted there, so I'm now a little bit in charge, so that's cool. And I've also been streaming video games, as you know, and that's taken off as well during the quarantine.
Yeah, so
lots on my plate.
When we talked about that last, you were basically explaining the internet.
Yeah. And now I'm explaining the internet to J2D.
J2D. Yeah, is he all right back there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't worry about it.
Okay. It just smells weird.
Oh, it sounds a little crazy.
Yeah.
The smell is normal.
Yeah, when you were explaining the gaming world to me and like the whole network, which we've talked about a bunch over the course of the past year and stuff, but it's utterly fascinating to me. Like there's this whole world that exists, and you're really good at navigating it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a journey. I'm no longer on Mixer. Mixer actually shut down. It was bought out by Facebook. So
no
I'm not
shit.
there anymore. Yeah, it was the worst thing ever. So I'm now on Twitch. But I left Mixer with about 700 followers, so I'm trying to get those back on the Twitch side of things. But it's been a recent transition. But it's been really fun. I have a really great community that watches me and my wife play video games together, and they've just been really supportive throughout that, and it's just, I love it. There's nothing better than being able to play video games and chat with friends and also make some money off it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a dream come true.
Yeah, you've done it.
Congratulations.
You've done it.
Thank you.
Well, I'm psyched for you. And were you able to get your, are you able to get, or do you think you'll be able to get your Mixer followers over to Twitch?
Yeah, it's just, it's an interesting transition. It's more just everyone is trying to find one another again. So it's been a few weeks now, and I've realized like there's people who I remember following on Mixer, and I swore I started following them on Twitch, but I didn't because I just remember seeing their name on a different platform. So like I'm like, oh, I need to follow, and vice versa. So everyone's just playing catch up. I feel pretty confident about getting back on it. The trickier part is just navigating a work schedule with a streaming schedule. So it's now I like have 2 full-time jobs.
So forgive my ignorance here because I'm old, but so this is literally just you playing video games online, and then people chime in and talk to you and just watch along as you're doing it?
Yes. So there's like a little chat that's like active in real time next to me at all times, and so I'm seeing what they're saying and I'm responding to it. All while like I have my face in the little corner of the screen, and you see the video game that I'm playing for the bigger part of the screen.
So they see you and the game.
Yes, exactly.
Is that intimidating? I feel like I would be uncomfortable with that because I probably make weird video game faces.
I definitely do make weird video game faces. The most embarrassing thing is that I always yawn. I can't help it, especially if I'm reading long blocks of text. I just can't help but yawn. But you get used to it. It ends up being very comfortable after, like, probably within the first couple weeks of it. As long as there's someone to talk to, that's the easiest part, when you can go back and forth with someone. If you're just talking to nobody, that is harder, and you still want to fill dead air, so you're just narrating what you're doing. You're like, oh, I'm going to go over to this corner, and I'm going to jump on this thing. Mm-hmm. And that is more uncomfortable than anything else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it sounds like playing shows to an empty room.
Yeah, right. We haven't been able to do any concerts, so.
Right.
The streaming thing, I'm grateful to be able to do it, but, like, at the same time, it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I definitely feel like if you are used to a live audience, it must feel very, very strange to stream.
Definitely.
Especially with music.
Yeah, it's such like an interactive thing.
Right.
I suffer from video game rage when I play video games. I know it's been a long time, but like video games are the one place where I have a hard time keeping my cool. Is that ever a thing when you're live gaming?
There was one time I was playing The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, which I'm very familiar with all the Zelda games, but that one is a exceptionally difficult game to play. Mm-hmm. And I had gone through a whole temple, and so crazy level, very annoying. And the point of this game is that you have 3, quote, days, which go faster in a video game, to complete everything before you go back in time and everything resets until you hit certain checkpoints. Then you hit that checkpoint and you can get a mask, and that kind of shows that you can move forward in the progression of the game. And I had gone all the way through the level using up all the time, and I had 5 minutes to beat the boss. And I was just so anxious about trying to get it done on stream while everyone's like, oh, you can do it, that I kept messing up, and I did not beat him, and so I was kicked back, and all my progress was lost.
Oh, no.
So that was probably my biggest, like, rage moment. I was like, But otherwise, I'm pretty, like, cool with it. Like, right now, I'm playing a game called Fear Effect, which came out in the 90s on PlayStation 1, and it is very difficult. I die very often in it. But I take great reward in the times where I get past those harder moments, so I focus on that instead.
Cool.
It's like just turned into a therapy session.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll also note that the only time I've the only time I've seen Zach sincerely lose his temper was over, I believe, it was MLB for PlayStation 1 or 2. It was like,
also, the last like adventure game that I played, or whatever, like the last game I played with like a storyline, I think was the original Max Payne on PS2.
oh Lord, yeah.
And that was one that I just I wanted to fire the controller across the room over and over and over again.
Yes, you're talking about that dream sequence phase.
Yes.
Those older games, too, are very difficult. So, like, it's easy to get just frustrated and just, like, rage out on them.
It really is. Yeah, I had to move away from it. Well, how do we think Jeffrey's doing?
Okay, you guys should be all set, actually.
Right on.
Hey, before you go, can you set him up with an email?
Gmail cool?
AOL isn't available?
Nah, it's taken.
Okay, Gmail's cool.
Okay, I've got him set up to receive emails at JEFFREE, the number 2, D@gmail.com.
Thanks, Bond.
You guys are good to go.
I'm already getting
Oh,
spam.
before you do go again, what's your handle on Stitch, Stitcher?
on Twitch. Twitch. Good. You tried. I
Is it
appreciate
Twitch?
the effort you put. It's Twitch.
That's like oldest moment ever.
You're trying real hard. I appreciate.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
My handle. So the link for it is twitch.tv / that other pond.
Twitch.tv / that other pond.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
There you'll find me.
A, Pond, thanks for the help.
Yeah, thank you so much.
B, thanks for stopping by.
I'm happy to help. Good luck with everything. I believe in you.
Yeah, we'll hit you up again if we have any other problems.
Perfect. And best of luck to y'all.
And you. Great to hear from you.
Great to hear from you.
Bye.
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 Later. Thanks for the infinite knowledge.
Hey, Spence, I got a question for you.
What you got?
Do you think, after we come out on the other side of this whole pandemic thing that we're going through, do you think Hollywood will still resort to just doing sequels and reboots and franchises and stuff? Or do you think after, staying home for a year, whatever it ends up being, and people will have just watched everything that's available on the internet and be over that?
Well, as much faith as I have in Hollywood to do the right thing, I think you might see a resurgence of original stories maybe being developed, because I think that there's something to be said for people having, during this time, really consumed, not everything, but like a lot of the stuff they've been meaning to consume, and they might just be tired of retreading over old properties, right? But I also believe that will not stop Hollywood from continuing to focus on reboots.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, after like 5 Jurassic Parks, 9 Star Wars, and everything else that's going on, yeah, I mean, they're still making money. They're still going to crank out reboots.
Absolutely. I mean, Transformers.
Oh, yeah.
I think if we're going to be forced to watch, these reboots and stuff, it would behoove us if we were part of the conversation. Fix it from the inside, as they say.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many great films that have somehow made it through the years without sequels or reboots or remakes. So
maybe we could have Jeff R.E., now that you're connected to the internet.
This place is great!
Settle down, Jeffrey. You've got plenty of time to explore the interweb.
Ooh, Bed Bath & Beyond. I can shop from here. This is incredible!
Yeah, they got everything on there, Jeffrey. But specifically, we're just looking for a list of classic movies with no sequels.
Can do! Muchacho!
All right. Here in my hand. Fresh off the dot matrix printer is Jeff R.E.'s list of potential sequels or reboots.
Ooh, I'm excited for this.
None of these films have sequels. So we are here to create unnecessary sequels or reboots. We are in agreement going into this that none of these are necessary.
No.
But if they're to be done, this is how they should be done.
That's right.
Okay. First up, The Deer Hunter.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say that movie is a masterpiece, but it's also incredibly depressing. And where that movie leaves off, that's not a sequel that I want to see. That's already enough.
No.
That's already enough.
That's bleak. That movie is incredible, and it's also so bleak.
Oh, so bleak. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know where to go beyond that.
No.
But if I were going to stay on the Vietnam tip, it looks like Jeffrey has Apocalypse Now on his list. And that is a movie that I have a little bit of an idea for.
Shoot.
Well, we see Captain Willard, a.k.a. Martin Sheen, sent, on this riverboat to Cambodia to take out this colonel who's kind of gone rogue and is leading this cult and doing all these terrible things. And along the way, most of the crew of that riverboat doesn't make it. I think the one guy that does make it goes insane. Willard is obviously successful in his mission in that gruesome murder scene at the end of that. Then he's got to get back upriver somehow. I kind of want to see that adventure. Any thoughts on that?
You want to see how a man undoubtedly psychologically scarred for life from his experience.
He was psychologically scarred at the beginning of that movie, and then it just gets worse.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Heaped on. It was all heaped on. So you want to? He's just now murdered the leader of effectively a cult, a well-armed cult, in a foreign land, and he has to go through them and then back up all the dangers of going back upriver.
Yeah,
that's really. I get it, but I think it's a really hard movie. I think it's a hard, it's just like, does he make it? I guess if he makes it at the end, it's like, but let me sweeten the pot here.
Please do.
So he's enduring heavy psychological trauma through this whole thing. You know, I mean, just the speeches from Brando alone. You know, what if he kind of loses himself and then kind of forgets who he is, and he actually does shoot his way upriver?
Okay,
right.
Is this just like now when he forgets who he is this like, is there an incident, or is it just like the collective experiences, or he just loses his mind and is just?
I think that by the end of Apocalypse Now, he's probably like lost his. That's a traumatic thing.
Yeah,
all of it.
That's pretty fair to say.
Yeah. So he has now lost himself. Maybe it's like a little bit of amnesia, but he just knows that he's a 100% killing machine. And this is an opportunity for what I like to call mashup.
Ooh. Your own original term that you just came up with?
Yes. Copyright. He becomes John Rambo.
Oh, man. So it's kind of a First Blood prequel at the same time as being a Apocalypse Now sequel.
That's right. It is simultaneously Apocalypse Now 2 and a prequel to First Blood. Yes. First Blood. He could be like in the hospital, maybe recovering, like comes to in a hospital, and he finds out that he's just like, he made it out of it. Like the whole getting back up the river could be like a series of flashbacks before he wakes up in the dream. Like, ugh! He wakes up and he realizes he's informed that he doesn't know who he is. He has no ID on him. And he's been informed that he actually, all of that was true. It wasn't a dream. And he actually shot his way and survived upriver. And they found him like on the shore or something. And so his name's John Doe.
All right.
Which
and
then,
so there needs to be some sort of like dramatic hospital breakout where he drives away in like a Dodge Ram or something, and it becomes John Ramdo.
John Ram. Oh, and a Dodge Ram. What's your name? Ram.
Ramdo.
Ramdo.
But then
John
obviously
Ramdo.
There's going to be a big like, you know, there's got to be a bow and arrow scene somewhere in there where he's like
100%.
No longer Ramdo, he's now Rambo.
Oh, there you go. Wow. That sucks so bad.
So Apocalypse Now 2, First Blood.
Yeah. First Blood. Seriously, First Blood.
I like it.
I give it a green light. Let's roll with it.
Green light.
Next on the list is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And I actually do have a thought for this one.
Ooh, take it.
It's the character, and forgive me, I can't remember the character's name. I don't even know if it's mentioned in the book or the movie. But the character they refer to as Chief, big tall guy.
I think that is the only name they give him in the movie. Okay. I may be wrong, but
we might have an opportunity to figure out what his name is, right? So turns out, like through Apocalypse Now, he is silent.
Or One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
I'm sorry, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Thank you.
Unless we're mashing it up one more level.
No, no, this one's not a genre mashup.
Okay,
I'm pitching a straight sequel here.
All right.
So kind of the vibe you get by the end of that movie is like he didn't need to be in there. He was just put in there because he didn't talk or whatever, or just who knows what horrors he went through in the 50s in America. But at the end of the movie, if you remember correctly, he has made the really difficult choice to what's the word? Fulfill MacReady? No, that's a different movie. But to fill John Malkovich. No, Jack Nicholson's to fulfill his last wish. Like after he's lobotomized, he snuffs him out, which is like a both humanitarian and like, wow, that must have been really hard. And then he picks up that sink thing, throws it through the wall, and walks off into the sunset. Our movie picks up there.
Ooh, perfect. Go on.
And you could have him be. I mean, I didn't really develop it past that, but that's like my gut tells me that there is like an opening here.
Oh yeah,
for more storytelling.
I mean, I like that a lot because that character is, there are definitely, obviously the original movie takes place in a mental asylum, and there are characters that definitely belong there. But that character is one that you're never really sure because he doesn't speak. He seems to be very much aware of everything that's going on at every time, at all times, to the point where he's willing to end his friend's life by request. Yeah, so that could be. I'm going to give this a green light. I want to see this story of where he goes after he escapes the asylum and what's next for this character.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe he found killing very easy. We just don't know.
We just don't know.
We'll
There's
find
so much
out
to learn, and I'm intrigued.
We could call it one who flew the cuckoo's nest.
Or because it's a sequel, you just go, two flew over the cuckoo's nest? I don't know.
Also, also?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. T-O-O.
Or, yeah. Maybe it's a comedy. We just call it flew the coop. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the poster, like, already. Next on our list. Saving Private Ryan.
Wow. All right. This is another potentially heavy film, because Private Ryan potentially heavy. Yeah, it's definitely heavy. This guy he's come home from the war. His brothers are dead. The guys that went to rescue him are also dead.
Most of them.
So I'm sure he's suffering some sort of PTSD from being in combat and all that. But the bookends of Saving Private Ryan show him with an extended family at the end of it. So he, somewhere along the way, met a wife and had kids and all this stuff. So I think this movie is a guy readjusting to life back home, but also every step along the way, when he meets his potential wife, he thinks back to the guys that sacrificed for him. When they have their first kid, he thinks back to, the people that sacrificed for him. It has that potential to be, and also it gets to be a period piece again, because a lot of it's going to take place in the 50s and 60s and so on. So it's going to have to cover a lot of ground too. Thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, it's the thing we just kind of, he just keeps coming back to that thought, which is like what would happen in real life. You'd keep coming back to that thought. But, like, does that make a movie?
Potentially.
You know what I mean? It could, but it'd just be very ponder. I mean, Saving Private Ryan is epic. It's grand. It's sweeping. You know what I mean? It's heartbreaking. It's all these things. It really just, like, takes you on a ride.
Yeah.
But, like, this sounds to me like, no offense, but it's kind of like, that would be like a Deer Hunter sequel. Same vibe. You're just kind of dealing with somebody, like, even in beautiful moments, it's still this underscore of, loss and, sacrifice. And he kind of can't even enjoy things in his own life,
Sounds like you might have something else in mind then.
Well, yes, because as you pointed out, there are bookends. And then at the end, they cut in, the American flag, aged Matt Damon, or a different actor altogether. And he says to his family something to the effect of, "Am I a good man?" And then the hands kind of come on the shoulders, right? And they kind of, "Was I a good man?" You know what I mean? Like, and what I suggest is the family says, "No." No. How could you think that you're a good man? And then we cut back in time, Matt Damon post-war, and he's a shithead.
Right.
Just not remarkable in any way. He only takes. He's a bad tipper. Like, doesn't hold the door for people. Like, parks in like handicap spots, things like this. Just does not give a shit. And so the whole movie, you're just seeing this guy who you're just wondering, and it's a comedy, straight up, like slob comedy.
It sounds like a little bit of a genre jump.
This is a genre jump. This is exactly what it is. This is a genre jump, and I think that we kind of saw that a little bit with Alien and Aliens, right? Horror movie, action movie, both sci-fi. We saw it with Silence of the Lambs, right? Silence of the Lambs, psychological horror. Hannibal, action horror. right? So it's not. It's kind of a thing. I think they should lean into it. Let's genre jump, and Saving Private Ryan 2, Ryan's Privates, is a story about somebody who squandered so many people's ultimate sacrifice for him, and so and that starts the movie, and then with the no, Dad, and it goes. We can flash back to the end, and he could even be like, yeah. You're probably right.
Because that's the thing. Saving Private Ryan, even though it's a masterpiece of a movie, ultimately it doesn't really give you enough background on Private Ryan to say that maybe he didn't go on to be a shithead. I mean, the one really personal moment we get with him is the moment where he is thinking about his brothers, and he's like, I can't even picture their faces right now. So, yeah, maybe he was a shithead the whole time. And he just went home, and it was terrible. Yeah,
I can't even really picture their faces. My brothers were assholes.
Yeah.
Like that guy, he didn't even care about them.
Yeah. So the setup for this movie is already there.
Yeah. So he could have all of his brother's shit. Like he ended up with all of his brothers oh, cool. I always wanted this. You know what
I mean? He's more excited about inheriting the thing, whatever it is.
Yeah. He finally got the toy, the Millennium Falcon or something, but whatever the 40s version of that is, He finally got it. Yeah.
I wonder what I guess it would be a 30s version of Millennium Falcon would be.
Yeah, it would be like, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Buck Rogers ray gun or Daisy Red Rider, whatever. Yeah. Some fucking boring toy made of wood.
He's a grown man coming home from the war, and he just wants that toy.
He's psyched about the matchboxes. Matchbox cars, All
right, well, this has a green light. I approve of this pitch.
Right. I can't wait to make this movie. I cannot wait. It's going to be a real side splitter.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Next on Joffrey's list is Casino.
Ooh, I actually have a pitch for this.
I figured you would.
So, after the hilarity of Saving Private Ryan to Ryan's Privates,
it's still funny.
I'm going to zero back in on a more serious approach to this.
Okay.
And so, inspired by a movie also made by Martin Scorsese, The Color of Money was an excellent, unexpected sequel to an excellent movie called The Hustler.
Fantastic.
And The Hustler is like a perfect movie that never needed nor asked for a sequel, yet somehow The Color of Money came out, and it's great.
Yes.
So I see Casino kind of taking after, Casino 2.
Yeah.
Casinoed. I don't know.
Yeah. We're in development. We'll woodshed it.
Yeah. The title's still being worked on. Kind of taking after that, so at the end of Casino, De Niro's character who was running the casino under a bunch of different titles because he didn't have a license.
Yeah.
He's the only one that basically survives the fallout and goes back to right where he started at the beginning of the movie. He's just older and more experienced, but he's still just picking numbers, doing small time bookie and betting work. Mm-hmm. So I think this is much like The Color of Money. We have the guy from the first film that was went through this experience and was kind of humbled. Now is back to the small time, and this young hotshot comes in. I'm not sure what the young hotshot's deal is, if he is just a great gambler, or if he's
she.
just is, or she. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah. How dare I just go straight to he? That's how conditioned old Hollywood has me. But we're talking about new Hollywood right now.
That's right. We're talking about new Hollywood, where they have original ideas, like sequels and reboots.
In fact, let's just straight up say she, the young hotshot.
Let's do it.
Is now, De Niro has to take her under his wing, and he knows the casino system inside and out from his time running it. So whether they're back to scamming casinos or just picking numbers, I think this is where this goes, like the old mentor in the young hotshot kind of movie. And of course, the hotshot needs to be humbled, just like he was in the original one.
Of course.
Yeah.
I would actually really like to see this movie. I wonder who. I would need De Niro and Scorsese back.
Yes, absolutely.
And
they're both still in great shape for I mean, The Irishman was great. They're still on their game.
Totally on their game, and like, De Niro can play actual age. They don't have to worry about it. Like, he is that age. He doesn't have to pretend to be any other age.
Yeah.
Who do you like for the young hotshot? Anybody come to mind?
Yeah, it's weird. Like, immediately, I don't know. Like, for some reason, like, Charlize Theron comes to mind, but actually she might be too old now to be the young hotshot.
Ooh, yeah. That might be true.
Yeah, because maybe it should be somebody in their 20s. Do you have any suggestions?
Mila Kunis came to mind.
Yeah.
And I also wondered, like, what would a Kate McKinnon situation look like?
Kate McKinnon?
Yeah, bring the comedy actor over into the serious role.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Gosling's very good at that.
Yes.
Like he can really play both sides.
That's true. Kate McKinnon is my probably favorite person on the current SNL cast.
Oh, for sure.
The only time I've seen her play a role outside of that, though, was in Yesterday, the Beatles movie, or that one, and she still played that character like an SNL character, and it made me wonder if she can translate how good she is at caricature to playing a real character.
Fair.
But I guess that's a conversation for a different day.
Yeah, let's keep brainstorming on it. I like it.
Yeah.
We're in development.
Yeah, in development, I think.
Great.
I like it.
How about the film Platoon? Well, I can jump in here. I don't think it needs a sequel because I think it already has a sequel, which is effective, not really direct sequel, but like Born on the 4th of July kind of actually tells the story of the soldier returning home.
Yeah, right. And I think that was Oliver Stone's intention. I think even when he made those movies, I mean, he made his Vietnam trilogy with Platoon, Born on the 4th of July, and Heaven and Earth, and all three of those movies kind of tell that full story, even though it's different characters and different things. So I think ultimately a Platoon sequel is unnecessary, but you would be leaving a fantastic title on the shelf if you did not make Platoon.
Greenlit. Right. Fast track this one. I can't wait to see Platoon.
So it doesn't really matter what the story is. Yeah, we can just give it to any hack writer and director.
It's all the title. Yeah,
it's just about getting that title on your streaming service ASAP.
Yeah, we're gonna spend our money on marketing and securing some music that feels good.
Great.
And then actors, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
There we go.
Nice work.
I'm looking at this list, and the next thing I'm seeing is the Shawshank Redemption. What do you think about that?
Sorry, just taking a drink because it's very hot. This is truly an unnecessary sequel.
Okay.
I think I'd like to build it. I think I want to build this one.
Please do.
Shawshank Redemption 2. Shawshanked. I don't know.
Yeah, of course.
I'm working on it.
Just like Casinoed?
Yeah, Casinoed. Casinoed. It's a verb suddenly. So, right. Andy Dufresne, Tim Robbins' character, right, is a genius and a patient genius and a long play. He's into the long game, right? And even the moments where he's facilitating joy, like if you remember, he gets like the bucket of beer for his buddies, right? He plays music for everybody over the loudspeaker, and kind of takes the heat for all that. But I think that there are two joys being experienced by him. One, he's bringing people happiness, and I think that sincerely makes him happy. But also, he's bucking the system, right? He's getting that he was in control. He pulled one over. He made it happen. He gets that joy. And I think that after you escape from prison after, a 20-year plan, and you escape from prison with an assload of money, You're in Mexico, fresh start. You know, you got your buddy you've left your buddy some loot, right?
Mm-hmm.
He finds it, like you're expecting, hopefully he'll come at some point. You're hungry for more. You're hungry for more manipulation and, work in the system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
that's become his life now. Like, how do you just walk away from that when you're so conditioned to just work in the system over?
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Morgan Freeman willfully violates his parole to join Andy down there.
Mm-hmm.
So now he can't go back.
Yeah, they're both outlaws now. They're both on the run.
That's right. So I think that there's like it would have to be told patiently. I think I like, Frank Darabont directing. I would love it if Steve King would write the script. I would love that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. And obviously like one of the great combos, Frank Darabont and Stephen King are just like peanut butter and chocolate. Mm-hmm. So, I think that story could be told. I think it could be if not Darabont, then maybe Sam Mendes or something. Somebody who's going to tell it with like some heart and some gravity, right?
Yeah, yeah. And, I could see this movie working because they're in Mexico. They've got some money, but they're going to be hungry for action. I think especially, as you said, like Morgan Freeman would be the reluctant go along, but I picture them like maybe him getting into like some sort of money laundering scheme or something with like, I don't know if it's like the cartels or what's going on, but they're not on the up and up. He's not just going back into banking.
No, yeah. If anyone's going to be able to turn whatever money he made it out with. If anyone can turn it into more, it's probably him. Yeah, exactly. And then there'll be some mix-ups. Actually, Tim Robbins could even meet his demise at the end, and you're left with Morgan Freeman to kind of button it up. There could be kind of defending his friend's honor, or seeing it through. Yeah, maybe nobody makes it. Maybe it's like a tragedy, and everyone, no one makes it out alive kind of vibe.
Maybe something so tragic happens that Morgan Freeman has to go back to the United States, or not that he has to, but he chooses to go back to the States and turn himself in and make sure that this story gets told.
He's just going to go back to the life that he knew.
Exactly.
Yeah, because at least he knows it.
Green light. I'm into this. I want to see this.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I think we should... I don't think Shawshanked is
no, maybe
appropriate for this movie.
Working title.
It's not a genre jump.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Just a straight story continuation.
Exactly. Straight story continuation. Really good. I mean, two terrific actors, great characters, depth of characters, there's all kinds of things. Especially like where Tim Robbins is so like kind of secretive in that, Like he keeps a lot from everybody.
Yeah.
And
Morgan Freeman could still be learning things about him even after the 20 plus years they spent together in prison. Like, oh my God, I didn't know you did that.
Who doesn't want another film from America's narrator?
Exactly.
Especially when he actually narrated the first one, and it was excellent. Yep. All right.
And that would work out great. Sorry, just if...
No, go ahead.
If the thing was that he did end up like turning himself in telling the story, then that sets it up perfectly for him to narrate this one as well.
That's right. He's telling it from jail again.
Yeah.
Andy Dufresne. You can't hear it, but it sounds... I'm kind of proud of my Morgan Freeman.
Oh, well, you do a great job, so you should be.
I appreciate it. Do you want to you want to pop quiz me on some surprise phrases that you'd like to hear in the style of the incredible actor Morgan Freeman?
Sure.
Anything.
Speaking of genre jumping, let's give Morgan Freeman telling Luke Skywalker, "No, I'm your father."
No, I'm your father.
And Luke Skywalker's just like, all right, that's cool.
Thank you.
That's actually a relief. I'm happy to hear that.
I never knew.
What if Morgan Freeman is Kyle Reese saying, "Come with me if you want to live."
This is. Oh wait, Kyle Reese would be. That's Michael Bihn's character.
That's right.
Come with me if you want to live.
So okay, coming right along.
Yep.
What if it's Arnold in Terminator 2 saying the same line?
Okay, got it. Come with me if you want to live.
Fair enough.
I'll be like, yeah, I'll go with you. All right, enough of that horseshit.
Yeah, let's write another.
Let's take a little break.
That's what we're here for.
That's right.
Okay.
Let's take a little break and then we'll get back to the list.
Why, hello there. This is Zach Jones from Spencer and Zach Explore the Universe, and I am here with your Bull Moose Minute for the week beginning August 3rd. This week, Luster, a novel by Raven Leilani. In fact, it's the debut novel from Raven Leilani. Irresistibly unruly and strikingly beautiful, razor-sharp and slyly comic, sexually charged and utterly absorbing. Raven Leilani's Luster is a portrait of a young woman trying to make sense of her life, her hunger, her anger, in a tumultuous era. It's also a haunting, aching description of how hard it is to believe in your own talent and the unexpected influences that bring us into ourselves along the way. That's Luster by Raven Leilani. In fact, Chelsea at Bull Moose says, Raven Leilani is probably the most talented debut author I have ever encountered. If she wrote a grocery list, I would read it. The publication of Luster is destined to catapult her to immediate literary stardom. You're going to want to own a first edition copy. Also available this week for PS4 and Xbox One, Destroy All Humans. The cult classic returns. Terrorize the people of the 1950s Earth in the role of the evil alien Crypto-137. Harvest their DNA and bring down the U.S. government in the faithful remake of the legendary alien invasion action-adventure. Annihilate puny humans using an assortment of alien weaponry and psychic abilities. Reduce their cities to rubble with your flying saucer. One giant step on mankind. Destroy all humans. PS4 and Xbox One. Available this week at Bull Moose stores. Located in Maine and New Hampshire, Bull Moose has all of your video games, your books, your music, your LPs, your CDs, you name it. Bull Moose has got it. You can find Bull Moose on Instagram at Bull Moose Stores. You can find them on Facebook, and you can find them right at bullmoose.com. So go to Bull Moose and get the things you need. This has been your Bull Moose Minute.
And we're back.
We're back.
We didn't actually go anywhere at all. You did.
No, we didn't.
You went on a journey.
But your two Hollywood sequel doctors are here to write more gold.
I mean, we are sweating excellence and spitting lightning.
Absolutely.
So far, I think.
I mean, I'm watching the piles of money just get higher and higher with all these great ideas.
Yep. This is gonna be excellent. Next on the list, my friend, The Graduate.
The Graduate, one of the greatest endings of all time. Benjamin Braddock played, I believe that's his name. No, is that a boxer or is that his name in the movie? No, I'm confused.
I don't know.
Anyway, Dustin Hoffman has just ruined this wedding or interrupted this wedding because he was in love with this girl, but throughout the whole movie he was having an affair with that girl's mother. And that movie ends with them in the back of the bus just looking forward like, oh God, what have we done and what does the future hold? And so if you're going to make a sequel to The Graduate, which obviously does not need a sequel at all, completely unnecessary, but if you're going to, this is a perfect moment for genre jumping. Because this is going to be the most cringy situation ever. Like, what's Thanksgiving like for this couple?
It's awful.
What happens when mom comes over?
Yeah,
and
like
they're sitting there at the table together.
Awful. So much tension. Just silent dinners. Like, what you can hear like the scrape on the plate, and the dad trying to be like, "So, how was the this going?"
Or like, there's like a mom-daughter like argument or something, and then she makes some sort of like suggestive comment that makes them both super uncomfortable.
Oh,
And
they
then
get it. Yeah, sorry, just got the wheels turning. Like there could be like an awkward like competition to like who is like the better lover.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's cringe comedy. It's a cringe comedy.
Yeah,
it's the
absolutely.
cringiest comedy. Yep.
Oh, yeah. That'd be the worst on so many levels. I mean, hilarious, potentially.
What about if like every holiday, every chance she gets, she's still trying to like, are you trying to seduce me again, Mrs. Robinson? Are you still trying to seduce me? It's, it could be even played by like a modern day Dustin Hoffman, who is great with comedy. And so like Mrs. Robinson could be like very elderly.
Yep.
That's funny.
Right. I like that.
Yep.
And we're still probably going to rock the Simon and Garfunkel score because it's not broken. And I
Oh
feel like
yeah,
it's still, it's still going to work in the cringe comedy situation.
Yeah, we know that Simon and Garfunkel works in the comedy thanks to Wes Anderson.
Oh yes, that's true.
And also like serious moments and stuff.
Honey, I just got off the phone with my parents. They're coming for Thanksgiving.
Oh. Yeah, cut to like a driving sequence, of him just trying to like get his like life together, like with his wife that whose mom, with whom he's slept, is coming over.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's unexpected.
Well,
great one. Green light.
light.
Oh, big time. Can't wait to see The Graduate 2.
Yep. Looking forward to that one.
Yep.
All right. What do we got next?
Deliverance.
I mean, where are you gonna go with that?
I don't know. It's so like, yeah, that also file under Deer Hunter. It's like, what do we want to talk about? What are we going to put ourselves through for 2 hours?
Yeah.
So the only way this would work, I think, would be as a reboot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the only way that Hollywood would let this happen is if they gave the reins to somebody who's more in the exploitative, department. And this is probably an Eli Roth movie that I do not want to see.
Yeah.
I do not.
Or the other thing I was thinking of is when Zack Snyder did Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Maybe pre DCEU Zack Snyder would have done the Deliverance reboot. But you're probably right. It'd probably be Eli Roth, and they would just make everything as disgusting and disturbing.
Oh God!
Like the original Deliverance isn't disgusting and disturbing enough. You need to dial it up to 11. But
yeah,
that's the way they would do it, and they would lose any sort of like,
oh yeah,
of the artistic
subtlety.
quality that we appreciate in the original one would be out the window.
No. Nope.
Yeah. Okay.
No green light.
No green light.
No green light for Deliverance. Again, redelivered.
Redelivered. What about the Walt Disney animated classic Beauty and the Beast? I mean, I know we got a live action remake of that already.
Yeah.
But I mean, is there anything left for that?
I mean, I'm sure that they milked the characters for some like direct-to-video stuff. I'm sure that happened already.
So good, it went straight to VHS.
Yeah, so good. So barring that, like, I don't know, what's the sequel? Like, or is she still trapped against her will? I think
he's a prince now, if anything. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's fine. And she certainly deserves whatever spoils she's able to reap after. I think that Beauty and the Beast is a reboot, and I think that we tell the tale of the horror movie, the horrible tale that this truly is, basically kidnapped and held against will with a monster
in this dilapidated castle.
In a dilapidated
with a bunch
castle,
of furniture and stuff
that talks. It talks. She's lost her fucking mind. It's a fucking candle talking to her. Like, she's not.
Is this reality or is this all in my brain?
Oh my God!
I'm losing my
like
mind.
Yes.
There's this beast creeping around up here.
A beast. a beast who's like promising, like, oh, I've become a prince. Like, okay, Jeff Dahmer.
Yeah,
Basically,
I'm having a
Jeffrey
hard time
Dahmer.
believing this prince thing.
Yep. Yeah, right. Like, why, if you're a prince, then how come your castle isn't in like better shape? You know, like you lose your princely wealth immediately just because you got turned into a man beast. Yeah. No, and then you could have all kinds of visceral, you know, like just like she could like catch him like eating people. Just the horrors of it, and just her psychosis and her just slip into dementia, and not knowing if it's real or not real, and coming to, and like, you know, imagine coming to in a situation like that, and like seeing like all of a sudden like the candelabra's like, you know, be our guest.
Yeah. Come with me into the kitchen for this dinner. No.
Yeah.
No.
All
right. Initially, I was thinking hard pass on this one, but you've sold me. It's green light.
Thank you.
We're going to go ahead with this reboot.
Let's give this the dark retelling that it truly deserves.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for seeing that. All right. Apollo 13.
Well, obviously that would be Apollo 14. And I just actually did some reading about Apollo 14 a little bit earlier.
Go ahead.
And it was the third lunar landing, and the first lunar exploration to go to the lunar highlands. But there was no issues. No, like it looked like a pretty smooth operation.
Boring.
So,
there's nothing remarkable about this story.
The third place moon landing? Boring.
Bronze? We're going to give him a movie for bronze?
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry, like after the first one, the thought of being, even though the feat of landing on the moon is just
it's amazing.
Yeah, we're not gonna. No one want. Like, look at the disinterest in the space. Like, you know, NASA as it is. Like, you know, like people like they stopped televising the. By the time the Challenger went up, they had stopped televising the launches because people just weren't tuning in like they used to. You know, they tuned back in pretty quick after that. I'll tell you that. But yeah, so like people aren't satisfied with like they're not going to sit there and think like, you know, it's fucking amazing that they traversed space and landed on the moon. Yeah,
for a third time. This is amazing.
Like at this point, I get proud when I drive to South Portland. Sometimes it feels like, oh, what? I can't believe I made it 8 miles. This is incredible. Yeah. You know, the moon. Yeah. Sadly, no one's gonna go see it.
Well, unfortunately, Apollo 14 sounds like it's not gonna get off the ground in movie form.
No, I mean, as much as I do like the comedy of dropping Apollo 14, and then and the prequel rights. I mean, the prequel material is all there. I mean, you've got 12 built-ins.
Oh yeah,
ready to go. Yeah. Oh, maybe it's maybe it's TV. Maybe it's a TV show.
That could be.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
and then,
you could stretch that story out over like eight episodes or something about like them preparing for the mission. You know, whatever. Like any things that came up in advance of them taking off for the moon, like having to solve that, being like, we're gonna have to delay the launch a week if we don't get this figured out, and then you have a whole episode or two of them figuring out the thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess it could work like that, but just 2 hours of them being the third people to go to the moon. I don't know.
It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work in a movie form because you need time to set up the small. Like you need the time to give people to appreciate what they're actually doing, and like if they don't do this, then the whole it's gone. It's off. It's out. You know, there's no like big explosion moment. I mean, the Apollo missions were not without their troubles for sure, as evidenced in Apollo 13. But
that's right. The prequel to Apollo 14.
All right, what do you got next on that list?
Let's see. Tell me about Pulp Fiction. Where do we go with this?
Pulp Fiction is the survivors at the end of that movie, as far as we know, are Bruce Willis, Marcellus Wallace, and Mia Wallace, right? And I don't know if Tim Roth's character survives. I think he does. You know,
I think they do. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Ringo and Honey Bunny.
Ringo and Honey Bunny. But Sam Jackson survives. as far as
That's
we know.
right.
And he even has that bit, where he's like, I'm trying real hard, Ringo. I'm trying to be the shepherd. And I think it's a standalone movie starring Jules doing as he said he wanted to do, which is to walk the earth like Kane in Kung Fu.
Like Kane in Kung Fu.
That's right. So that's my pitch. Tarantino, 100%. He needs to tell this story. He's probably got like mad backstory already.
I'm interested. I want to take this into development.
And if they wanted to be, you want to drop an Easter egg in there? How about this?
Please do.
Then at some point in his journeys, he comes across the actor that has flown the cuckoo's nest, whose name we do not know, and he spends time in silence with this person, but they never reference it. It's just in there. So like it just ties the universes together very subtly, very quietly.
I like this.
And,
Expanded
yeah,
universe, or connected universe.
It's time for connectivity. There's all kinds of like Freddy versus Jason. Whatever happened to Freddy versus Jason versus Ash? That would have been awesome.
Oh man, that would have been great.
And that was like on the table for a while. And it's like, get out of your own way and do something. Like if they did something cool like that, they might have an actual hit,
Instead of like the super wasted opportunity is like the Alien versus Predator.
Oh God, those movies. Yeah. Come on. We could actually do a show on. We could interrupt. We could do none of these have sequels, but like we should do movies that do have sequels, and then decide at what point we want to interrupt the sequels and insert a good sequel and what that looks like.
Pinpoint the point where it went off the rails and jump in and pick it up where it should have gone. I'm down with that.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So yeah, Jules walking the earth, I think is. I mean, I don't even need to like. What else do you need? Samuel Jackson on screen. Yes, please.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, that's the thing. It's like like he says, like Kane in Kung Fu, and of course Kane uses his Kung Fu skills and other, intellectual abilities to solve problems. Jules, comes from a criminal background, but he's obviously a smart dude and can figure things out. That would be an interesting show to see how because basically it would be like a series of him in that diner dealing with Ringo and Honey Bunny. Like
that's right.
How does he calm down this issue, whatever's going on?
That's right.
I'm into it.
Yeah, me too. I would love to watch that. Argo. I just love the thought of these like serious movies with sequels.
Based on a true story.
Right, based on a true story. Argo. Well, I mean, French Connection 1, based on a true story. French Connection 2, not.
Completely fictional.
Right. Argo reboot, not necessary. I mean, like I don't think it has like. Why would you do it? So it'd have to be a sequel.
It's also less than 20 years old.
So. That's right. Yeah. I would. It's probably a sequel if it's anything at all, which I don't think it is, and it might be a genre jump where the cast of Argo, who have now successfully pulled off this incredible heist and flown all of them out of Iran, correct? Mm-hmm. But that's correct. It's a comedy where they get caught at LaGuardia and they just can't get out.
Like somebody forgot their passport, or
right. I mean, I'd watch it out of interest, but like I don't know.
It makes me think of like the airport scenes in whichever. I guess the first Home Alone movie, where they're like at the airport and there's just so much chaos, so they don't notice that they. Yeah. So like a whole movie of like we've just rescued these hostages from Iran,
running from gate to gate, all that stuff, like trying to get a taxi, trying to get their bags from, there's nothing, just nothing. They keep losing their taxi.
Even use the Home Alone music too, so it's just them running around like.
A couple of them get like super shit faced at the airport bar. They lose them, It's like, where is everybody? And of course, somebody needs to end up on passing out on the baggage claim and then ending up on an airplane headed to like California. No one noticed that there was a passed out drunk person on the on the conveyor belt.
For some reason now, I kind of want this to just be like a Home Alone crossover where somehow Catherine O'Hara is responsible for tracking everybody down.
Oh, interesting. Well, you could cast her as somebody's mother. Are any of those characters named Kevin?
I don't know, but for the sake of this sequel, I mean, it may as well be yes.
Yeah, all of a sudden there's just like this fresh blonde person named Kevin who you've not seen in Argo. Yeah. He's just like fully part of the, they just Chekhov him in, right? Just get him in there like, yep, you've been here the whole time.
And there's just like a throwaway line about how he was just out of sight in the first movie the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. You can even do some like CGI cuts, like kind of like inserting him into the story. Yeah. All right, you know what?
Right.
Fuck it. Let's do it. Green light.
Yeah. This is another one I went from a hard no to a green light on.
Yeah, green light. I want to see this movie. I want to see Hollywood waste its money on this movie, and I want them to pay for Ben Affleck. I want them to bring the original cast back and cast it and direct it as a...
And even get Macaulay Culkin to play Kevin.
Oh, God. Yeah, that would be challenging, I think. But, yeah, let's give him a shot anyway. But definitely...
oh, go on.
Catherine O'Hara, like sells it. Like, now it's a comedy. Now we have someone in charge.
She's the glue. She's going to make this movie work.
Oh, yeah. You were going to say something before I just barfed out another idea?
I was just going to say we're nearing the end of the list that Jeff R.E. has printed out for us.
Mm-hmm. That's probably best.
It's probably best. I mean, we've got so many winners here, though. That
oh yeah, no, I'm pumped.
I'm seeing Titanic is the next thing on this list. Titanic 2.
Titanic 2, which there is a Titanic 2 that I actually watched on Netflix years ago. It's terrible. Like, I didn't actually real watch it. I just like kept fast forwarding, like kind of scanning it to see like what action was happening. So I took it in about like 10 minutes, but it is unfathomably terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or not, or fathomably terrible. You know?
Completely fathomably terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, this could be like a parallel story of another couple or another group of people on the Titanic. Or, I mean, more realistically, with the way Hollywood handles things, it would probably be a continuation of some sort. But where does that even take us?
No. Yeah, the ship already sunk, right? Like, we know the ship sinks, like even the pinnacle. So what I suggest is that Rose, I'm using my quote fingers, Rose, the lady who plays Rose, was not Rose. She's just a grifter. She's a grifter who is like trying to get her hands on more jewelry or whatever the hell she could get access to. But she also was holding on to some hot jewelry that she had won in a grift, and she just needed to destroy the evidence. So she's there. She makes up this, basically a stowaway. She makes up this whole story about how, like, this, and tells her whole, inserts herself in it, makes it up, like, almost like Usual Suspect style. Just, like, inserts herself. Right. That's what I propose, is that Titanic was kind of like the Usual Suspect, except we don't find out who Kaiser Soze is until Titanic 2.
Right. And so basically the guys that, like, found the jewelry or whatever and confront her, she's now she bullshitted the whole story of
the whole
Titanic.
Thing. Bunch of shit.
Just to, like, okay.
Yeah, she even could have, like, dropped the, like, quote unquote dropped the, but what she actually dropped was like fake jewelry. Yeah. You know, you see her kind of like reveal, like, haha, I've got this. And then so she tells a story, and then what we need to see, because she's older at that point, right? So if we can have her live, actually, that character actually live through another tragedy, some sort of disaster, earthquake, maybe a historical, you know. I don't think any movie ever about 9/11 could ever be fun.
No,
I mean, but nor is the Titanic. But we're making a sequel to Titanic, so it needs to be like a disaster of, like, I don't know, like a little more innocuous, an avalanche. I don't know, Mount St. Helens erupting. You know.
Yeah.
But the clutch is at the end. She has an opportunity to be saved by somebody, much like her story, where she's laying on that huge fucking door and lets Jack drown and freeze, not making room for him on the huge door. So that's where her head's at. Like, oh, my love. Like, you're full of shit. Yeah. And so she has an opportunity to be saved. And the person's like, sorry.
No room.
No room on
Good
this
luck.
huge, no room on this boat. Or whatever, like something even bigger.
Yeah.
Like she's the last, maybe an airplane. Like she's falling from an airplane, like trying to escape Mount St. Helens eruption. There we go. And then, and
I've got two parachutes, but I need to give this one to my dog.
Exactly.
Good luck.
Exactly. The last shot is her falling from the airplane, which is now for some reason destined to crash into Mount St. Helens. Sure, right. And it's her, like you see the plane just kind of like getting further and further away, but you don't see a parachute ever open, and then it kind of cuts to this like elderly person in a nightgown just falling through the air at terminal velocity. Cut. Credits.
Can I throw one more wrench into the gearworks of Titanic 2?
I'd love it.
Mashup opportunity.
Mashup opportunity.
So, she is the actual mother of the character that Leonardo DiCaprio played in Catch Me If You Can. There has to be some sort of like, maybe she gave him up for adoption or something like that, but that's where his grifting skills came from.
So she is Frank Abagnale Jr.'s mother.
That's right.
I love it. I love it. Nice
mashup. Which is also why in her flashback story of Titanic that was just a lie, the character of Jack looked like Leonardo DiCaprio, because that's actually just the image of her son.
Into it. And then we can maybe get Chris Walken in on this thing.
Oh yes,
yes, please.
Yeah,
my son.
That improves any story.
I used to do a good Walken. I don't do it anymore. I'm out of practice.
Well, we'll have to find an opportunity for you to get that polish back up.
Like after you hear there's so many good Walkens out there,
Yeah.
Like I can't compete with that. What do we got next?
I got No Country for Old Men on this list.
I'm glad this is here because I have an actual pitch on this one.
Wait, you mean the other one wasn't an actual?
No, they're
pitch?
all great. No, they're all greenlit
Okay.
and happily so. But as far as like a movie idea that I've actually had for a period of time in my brain and not just like barfed out like an idiot on a microphone.
Okay.
So I have always viewed my takeaway from No Country for Old Men is that it's the Coen brothers doing the horror genre, and specifically the unkillable killer. Michael Myers, Freddy, Jason, right? Like these classic characters who like inexplicably you just can't kill them. They're relentless. They never stop. You can't kill them. Except what makes Anton Chigurh.
Yep.
Okay. What makes his character so compelling is that you shoot Michael Myers, he goes down, right? And then he just gets up because magic, right? If you damage Anton Chigurh, they will go blow up a car to provide a distraction, and then walk into a pharmacy, steal everything that they need to fix themselves, and then report to a gross hotel room and perform surgery in a hotel room bathtub. Disgusting. Chance of survival, meh. You probably might make it, but you might have like a couple passengers that might jump on during that procedure, if you know what I mean, in a hotel bathtub. Blech. So that's horrifying. Someone who gets injured shoots themselves. It's also that they aren't like these magic, like you still don't know why does he kill? Why must he kill? He's very clearly a genius. And I think No Country for Old Men 2 is the mashup that we'd like to see. Like we were talking about, like Freddy versus Jason, Alien versus Predator, right? Get him in there with these classic horror characters. Like Freddy's kind of like a wild card just because of like the whole dream thing. But like, I liked that more as a kid. Like I've watched him more recently. I'm like, yeah, whatever. no shade to Robert Englund. Like, I loved it. But, like, I don't know. But, like, Michael Myers specifically versus him, I think would be, like, awesome. And I think that he would win. I think that he would devise a plot and a method of dispatching Michael Myers would be so nefarious that would be riveting. And I would just love it to be like a straight genre jump. Like let's make it a horror. It is a horror movie. He's horrifying. He's one of my favorite scary characters in any movie. He's so good.
Still No Country for Old Men on Halloween.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Keep working it.
Here.
Like, no, just No Country. It doesn't even have to have the same title. Like,
yeah.
Maybe it could be called, like, you know, Do You Feel Lucky? Isn't that what he says?
Or Call It Friendo, maybe.
Oh, yeah, Friendo. No, what does he say? Like, choose, like, when he's doing the coin thing. He has, like, a kind of a tagline. You know?
That's what he says. He says, Call It Friendo. All right,
Call it Friendo.
Friendo.
Got it. Into it. Yep.
Yeah.
Call It Friendo. Starring Anton Segura and Michael Myers from the Halloween. Oh, fuck yeah, I'm there. I am there.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'm way into it.
All right. Sideways. That is so unnecessary.
It's very unnecessary. I would just throw out they visit a weed dispensary instead of a winery, and then hilarity ensues.
Yep. Still kind of a comedy. Maybe we could, I don't know, just like more pot humor. Like,
yeah, definitely. And we
like
get
Harold and
I don't know
Kumar.
I don't know who the top like pot comedians are right now, but whoever they are, work them into it. Yeah, Harold and Kumar. I mean,
Rory
obviously in the
Scovel,
90s,
Nate
it would have
Bargatze.
been
Oh man, Chappelle could kind of like do like a
Chappelle.
half-baked
Willie
nod.
Nelson cameo.
Willie Nelson cameo.
Snoop Dogg cameo.
Snoop Dogg cameo.
I think they both cameoed in Half Baked, but whatever.
I think this is also true. Or they've definitely cameoed in pot comedies before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Into it. You know what? Go ahead and make it. Now that we have all the dope cameos, like Paul Giamatti would be fun to like watch him be like so high.
Yeah. And Thomas Hayden Church was fantastic in Sideways, as I recall.
He's
so
great.
It'd be fun to see where he goes with it.
He's great. Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Green light.
When I saw this on the list, I was like, nah.
No.
But now I'm in.
I mean, I hope that pot comedies are still funny, though, in an era where in more and more states it's just becoming legal and a thing that you can do. Like, does it lose its, I don't know. Yeah, does it lose its luster a little bit?
No, I don't think so. I think that things are funny when you're on pot.
That's true.
You know? I remember actually, to speak to this, I remember I bought or saw the Cheech and Chong movie, Things Are Tough All Over. I watched it when I was a kid. Didn't get it. Like, I was like old enough to watch something like that, but like too young to. I hadn't smoked pot yet. You know what I mean? Fast forward a decade and change, and I'm at a table, or decade-ish. I'm at a table at this residential studio, and we're in the middle of kind of like the nowhere. But they had like movies that you could put on, you know, and one of them was Things Are Tough All Over, and we had partaken in a little bit of The Grass. Yes. And I watched that movie, and it might as well have been fucking Citizen Kane. It was incredible.
Speaking of guys that need to make cameos in Sideways too, Cheech and Chong.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, there's room for everybody. Bring the pot people in.
That's right.
Yep, even if there's just like playing like store owners and stuff, doesn't have to be direct references, but just make people comfortable, be fun. You know, it's like kind of like whatever. Just make a movie, have some fun. Paul Giamatti, get actually high and make this movie. Fine. Yep. No one's winning an Oscar.
No, they go into it knowing that Oscars are out of the question.
That's right. Yeah, let's not even shoot for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Oscar winners, Kramer vs. Kramer.
Next to Ordinary People, I think that Kramer versus Kramer would be one of the why? Ironweed, why? Silkwood, why? You know? Ooh. I'm surprised 9 to 5 hasn't gotten an update or a reboot
Oh man,
or a sequel.
I'm actually kind of surprised by that as well.
Yeah, I mean
That
they're all
actually-
still with us. They're all great. You know. Anyway,
Yeah,
we'll just fire that in
yeah,
there.
that's right.
You're welcome. That's like a little gimme. That's like a little tchotchke. You're welcome.
Wow, that's just a freebie.
That one's for free. And they'll be back. They'll be back for more, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, I think without going too crazy here, there is a little bit of meat on the bone with Kramer versus Kramer, just because obviously it's a custody battle, and I think the wife, Meryl Streep, wins custody, but she ends up being like, "Oh, you enjoy your father time." She gives Dustin Hoffman custody.
After all that.
After all that. And during the making of that movie, apparently Dustin Hoffman was, according to Meryl Streep, very, very difficult to work with. So I don't think that she would be down for a sequel. But at the same time, maybe if the sequel was like her having some sort of moral victory over him for in real life, but also in movie world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could also like limit their screen time together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean they're split up. They're not a together couple anymore, so they don't
course
really
not.
need to work together. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this is a genre jump. It's a genre jump, and it's a period specific genre jump. I feel like I need this movie to take place somewhere between 1985 and 1987.
Okay.
This is where, I mean, whether or not we can obviously you couldn't de-age. Maybe you could de-age him. Maybe. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And if it's not actually taking place during this period of time, I needed to have all of the tenets of a story like this, an unnecessary sequel like this that would be told between 85 and 87,
Yeah.
So, cut to the music is like, and some like new theme song by like hopefully Kenny Loggins or something like,
Yeah.
you feel attitude, Ferrari, red. Convertible. If I remember correctly, he's an advertising executive in the first movie.
That's correct.
So that goes really well for him. Goes really well. And he's in like the linen, twill jacket, big shoulders, sleeves pushed
Mullet
up.
blowing in the wind.
Yeah, mullet just letting it rip and just kind of tapping the side of the door to the theme song you can't really hear because that's not where we're at, pulls into the driveway. The kid is now teen years, like in that blows past him. Boof. Where are you going? It's like, I'm going out, Dad. It's like, I thought we were
don't
going
bother
to the
me, Dad.
Yeah, I thought we were. Yeah, exactly. I thought we were. But what about the party or whatever thing what about the thing we were going to do tonight? Eat my shorts, Dad. I want you home. I want you home by 11. And then the neighbors are looking.
I
the
thought
whole
we were going
thing.
to build that train set I bought for you. Train sets
yeah.
for nerds, Dad.
Not that, like something more self-serving, right? Yeah, but something she can't stand him, and he's just but she the music is down, and then obviously like when the kid takes off, music comes up, whatever, and he goes in the door, and then it's like montage of like the dog food, dog looking up, over here, throws the keys on the island. It's like one of these like roundish houses with like roundish walls with the glass bricks are in it. There's definitely like an infinity pool.
Mirrors everywhere.
Yeah, some sort of new partner that will absolutely make Meryl Streep's character like eye roll jealous. Not jealous, but just like, ugh. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
It's like, you're so immature.
Right. But throughout the movie, like Meryl Streep actually like ends up with a bond with this character, right? Because she realizes that like this character does care for her child and is trying their best to like make their lives good and all that stuff, right? And they also have this. They have a common problem, which is Dustin Hoffman, and he has let himself go to. He went right. He's a workaholic. He went right into being workaholic again, and he expanded his company. So he's being neglectful once again to his family, and like there's a threat to lose it, but he actually can kind of like make it back. He makes it up to everybody in the end. He realizes the error of his ways. There's also a scene maybe where Meryl Streep is like, they have like that moment, like kind of outlined the type of moment outlined in the song "Train in the Distance" by Paul Simon, which is a beautiful song about divorce, right? And
So
at a
good.
certain point, like they kind of refer back to like So makes her laugh. She cooks him a meal or two. So they like you have like you're not back together and you're not like flirting. You're just kind of like you can recognize that like oh we did have like kind of a nice like this part was good, right? So they kind of have those moments and she can like open up to him like maybe like after a little too much wine on the stoop or something. You know she'd be like Meryl Streep would say like oh you know. You were such an asshole. Like I know, you know, like
I was.
I know, and I'm doing it again. Just like the only way, like these two, like A-listers could like deliver this caliber of performance, right? So, yeah, it's a comedy. It's an '80s comedy, but it's a redemption comedy, and you keep it light. It still has like an emotional core to it, and at the end of the day, like Meryl Streep, like yeah, she is like they're finding. Like she is still the center, like, you know, the matriarch. You know, she's still the heart of the family. Even though.
This, yet again, is another situation where I've gone from, yeah, no, to, yeah, let's make it.
Great.
I'm into it.
Can we call it Kramer to Kramer?
I mean, we'd have to. There's no other option.
Man, you know what? I think I'm into sequels and reboots now. Like I went into this like being just absolutely fucking tired of it. You know, like how many times does Hollywood need to show us how wrong they are, you know, and by making terrible continuations of beloved stories from our childhood, and how many times do they need to be rewarded for doing a terrible job with billions of dollars? It's very infuriating.
Well, that makes me think about because I'm looking at this list and E.T. is next, which has been ripe for sequel franchise this entire time and has never been touched. And there's got to be a reason. But also, if that was done modern day, it would be probably still produced by Spielberg, directed by J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
It would make billions of dollars at the box office.
Bajillions of dollars.
It would be a success that launches a new franchise, but is probably a mostly forgettable movie. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, Spielberg very clearly like is not afraid to franchise, but like also I think that he has some properties that he might be keeping to his vest and are frankly like unfranchisable, you know, but I feel like if E.T. 2 were going to be made, it would have been made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. He'll throw his name as producer on all the Transformers movies.
Yeah.
But somehow E.T. has been left to
Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones, like Jaws. I mean, maybe Jaws, it wasn't really up to him. Maybe it was like a weird deal or something. But
yeah, that was early enough in his career that he probably signed away some sort of rights that would have given him say over that.
Right, something like that. So yeah, E.T. 2. Unless I don't know. Unless Spielberg's directing, I'm uninterested.
Yeah, and even with Spielberg directing at this point, I'm still skeptical.
Yeah, skeptical, but I'd watch it. But I'm not excited about it.
I wouldn't miss it. I'd be there on opening day.
That's right. Same. Yeah. Field of Dreams.
This one's easy.
Hit it.
So at the end of Field of Dreams, obviously Costner is reunited with his father, and James Earl Jones and the old baseball player who never got to play professionally walk into the field with the baseball players, with the 1908 White Sox who cheated in the World Series. What is happening on the other side of that cornfield? This, I think, Field of Dreams 2 takes us into that adventure that James Earl Jones goes on, and the title is right there: Field of Dreams 2, Dream Fields.
Fuck you. Dream Fields. It's so cheap. It's like Dream Warrior.
This is a direct to DVD sequel.
Yeah. It's like it's got the soundtrack is by like Styx or Dream Theater or something.
Yeah. James Earl Jones isn't even in it. It's somebody else playing that role.
Sure. Yeah. Keith David, please.
I think Keith David might even be above the.
Everyone's above Field of Dreams 2 Dream Fields. Everyone.
Keith David's great. Why does he get to be dragged down to this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it would be like some like 20-year-old that's trying to break into Hollywood that has to wear like old age makeup to play the role.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. No, I'm into it. Yeah, let's watch. I just want to see this disaster. I want to see this disaster unfold.
I want to log on to Netflix or something someday and see newly added movies, Field of Dreams 2,
Dream Fields.
Just out of nowhere, that just showed up.
I love it. I really do. It's so dumb. Congratulations. That is so dumb.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, we have 2 more movies on the list, which I'll disclose if that's all right with you.
That's fine. Go for it.
The 2 movies left on our list for unnecessary sequels are The Sixth Sense and Forrest Gump. A sequel to Forrest Gump. Right. I mean, like, The Sixth Sense, maybe, but, like, it's like you already gave up the ghost, right? Like, quite literally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, quite literally.
So, what do these movies have in common? Well, Haley Joel Osment, who... Right. I think that The Sixth Sense 2 is actually Forrest Gump 3. And I think that The Sixth Sense is Forrest Gump 2. So we take...
2 birds, 1 stone. You have my attention.
Bear with me.
Go on.
Bear with me. So, like, young Forrest Gump, who now, like, what a traumatic, like, childhood. Like, his mother's passed. He's got to deal with it. The fact that his father is like involved in every major event of the 20th century. Like, he's rich. He has Apple stock. He's got a shrimp company, and he's just like, maybe it's just like, maybe it just doesn't work out. Let's just say it doesn't work out, and he can't handle it. And so he ditches the name Forrest Gump, and he goes to live with Toni Collette. Okay. Where, because he ends up with a gift, which we can say that, like, Forrest Gump has a gift, right? He's a gifted individual. Yeah. So his gift is that he can see dead people. He's now living away from his father. So now we have the ability for, like, we're talking about Tom Hanks cameos, right? Mm-hmm. Then we leave off. Like, basically all we have to do with this is do, like, a little setup, like, what happened in between Forrest Gump and The Sixth Sense. Just do, like, a little montage thing. It could be that dream thing again, like I was talking about earlier, like, and sleeping. It's just, like, scene, shoo, shoo, shoo. So how he ends up in this, how he can see dead people. Or
just, like, a moment where he's, like, in school or something like that, and he's in, like, the counselor's office or something, and they're like, well, you went through that thing when you were a kid. And there's just, like, the scene where they drop the expository dialogue for the sake of the audience.
Sure.
Even though the characters are both well aware of what happened.
Yeah. And it maybe make it, like, a little more, like bleached looking. So it's, like, historic. Like, this happened, bleach out the film. But I think that this is another genre jump.
Ooh.
Genre jump. I think that Forrest Gump 3 / Sixth Sense 2 is a buddy comedy starring a now grown Haley Joel Osment with Bruce Willis, who he's now he can see him and he's now his sidekick.
Yeah.
But more of a callback to, like, Moonlighting era Bruce Willis, Hawaiian shirt, like, open, he's walking down the street, like, he opens and we're walking down the street and Haley Joel Osment's like, basically arguing with him. He's like, I thought you liked having me around. He's like, I do like having you around, but I don't like you around when I'm trying to get with Susie. Like, oh, sorry, I haven't. It's been a while for me, kid. It's like,
give me a little privacy here.
Yeah, a little. I just need some privacy, man. He's frustrated. He's late for work. I gotta go. I'm late for work. Leaves Bruce Willis, like, in the middle of the street. Where he's like, he's a ghost, but he's susceptible to, like, you can think, like, he gets hit by a bus, like, and then he's still standing there afterwards, like, I'm standing here, like that kind of.
Have a little respect.
That's right.
Can a ghost catch a break?
Yeah, and Bruce Willis is so great with comedy. Haley Joel Osment is also great with comedy. And I think if we bring in a genius like Taika Waititi, I think this is the person.
Made the most boring Marvel character exciting.
He made the most boring Marvel character, probably, one of the best films in the franchise. Yeah, this guy, he knows what time it is. He knows what's up. And I think it would be able to be like a buddy comedy that still has like a lot of heart, because I think you'd want to have some elements of heart from both Forrest Gump and The Sixth Sense.
I mean, especially, if you're going to pull Tom Hanks in just for a cameo, you can and he's playing Forrest Gump. Yeah, you could make that a pretty emotionally heavy movie in your otherwise wacky emotionally heavy moment in your otherwise wacky buddy comedy.
Oh man, it's the end. It's the redemption. They get back together. Like, he's actually just walking down the street after whatever life events we put these two ding-dongs through, right? All the ghostly adventures. And we could also bring in Ghostbusters, the next sequel, Sixth Sense 3 and Forrest Gump 4 is actually at that point
Ghostbusters 5.
Ghostbusters 4, yeah. Wow, mashing it up.
Wow.
But like the end of the movie, like he kind of goes through his thing, the story arc, redemption. And he's walking down the street and he sees his dad sitting on a bench, just like we remember him from the first movie.
Yep.
And then he had
the same feather that was in his book at the beginning of it comes back
down. The feather. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This is great. I mean, I know I just pitched it, but I'm giving this a great... This is a huge... This is a mashup and a genre jump.
I mean, it's everything that I think audiences are going to want from Hollywood when they get back to work making movies for us again.
Big green light. Go big on the budget. Let's go big on the budget on this one. Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's a winner.
I can't wait for Sixth Sense 2 / Forrest Gump 3.
Forrest Gump 3 / Ghostbusters 4.
Well, that would be a ghost. Yeah, no. Well, no, that's the one after. So that would be Sixth Sense 3, Forrest Gump 4, Ghostbusters.
Wait, I think our numbers are
after Afterlife. Yeah, get with it, man. This is the title. We have to use them all in the title for marketing purposes.
That's right.
Yeah.
We got to get a graphic designer to fit all of that onto one poster.
Yeah. We're not going to be able to get away with calling it like Icy Box of Chocolates or something. I don't know.
No,
it doesn't work. Well, I don't know if anybody listening had fun, but I did. So
I did. I mean, I got all these movies I'm looking forward to watching now.
It's going to be, I can't wait. Let's get these things in the pipeline. Let's fast track these things. Let's start in development. I know that we have to distance for a while, but like the second we can get back to work, let's come out of the gate screaming. I want these things in production now.
Yes,
now.
Every single one of these movies needs to simultaneously go into production ASAP.
Now. Start the development now. Like, get your Zoom meetings in. Start casting. Let's get all this shit out of the way and have secondary people. Like, have your number one choice and have your number two like lined up. Contracts. I want contracts signed. So the second it's safe to shoot these movies, I want the first one within a calendar year of shooting. Yeah. Sorry. I got really demandy there.
It's all right. I mean, I feel like Dreamfields should be a pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah.
So
some of the less special effects heavy ones, like Dreamfields, would have some light effects. So maybe, I mean, Beauty and the Beast, the horror movie, that's going to be pretty makeup forward.
I feel like that one's definitely going to have some production going on.
Probably Kramer to Kramer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Sideways. Actually, Sideways. That's easy. Get this thing out of here. Boom. Yeah. Sideways 2.
Yeah.
Like the Cannabis Cup or something. All right. Well, good job, dude.
Yeah, nice work.
You too.
I can't wait to count our money together from all of the riches that we're going to make from these movies.
It's going to be so nice. It's going to be so nice. All right. High five. It's time for Happy Hour, presented by Main Spirits. This drink seems like it was named after an argument. Or maybe it starts an argument. This drink is a gin drink. This drink includes an awesome liqueur, which I'm very excited to start introducing to our drinks. This drink is called The Last Word, a classic cocktail, and we're going to show you how to make one in the comfort of your own home. For tools, let's get them together. You're going to need a shaker, strainer, jigger, and a coupe or cocktail glass. For ingredients, you'll need the following: Bombay Sapphire Gin, Chartreuse, and the Luxardo Maraschino liqueur. We used that in another drink. So see, we gave you two things to use it in. So Yeah, you're welcome. It will also be fresh lime juice. Let's build this drink. In a shaker full of ice, combine 3/4 of an ounce of Bombay Sapphire Gin, 3/4 of an ounce of green chartreuse, 3/4 of an ounce of Luxardo maraschino liqueur, and 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lime juice. Now shake it until it's very cold indeed, very cold indeed, and strain it and serve it up in a glass of your choice, cocktail glass. Take a sip. It is all of the things. The gin lives in a spot which is kind of light and tight and makes room for the chartreuse, and the maraschino liqueur, you can taste them both together and separately, and the lime juice, of course, gives you your nice tartness to offset the sweetness, brought to you by these liqueurs. This has been Happy Hour, brought to you by Maine Spirits. You can learn more about this cocktail and many other cocktails made by many, many people on mainspirits.com. You can also download their app for your smartphone, but not for your dumb phone and not for your Razr phone. They have not developed the Razr app. But you can also follow them on Instagram at main_spirits, where they post all kinds of things like recipes and also videos. Like I make videos for these things. They're up there, so go check them out. It's a good place to hang out. And as always, and on behalf of myself and the company, I will say to you all, we wish that you would please drink deliciously and responsibly and not like a jerk. Spencer and Zach Explore the Universe is brought to you by Maine Spirits. You can visit them online at mainspirits.com or download their app or visit them on Instagram at main_spirits. The show is also brought to you by Bull Moose, serving Maine and New Hampshire's music, movie, video game, and book and trinket needs since 1782. Also brought to you by Sun Tiki Studios at 375 Forest Avenue or at suntikistudios.com. Spencer and Zach Explore the Universe is a Mistakes Were Made production.